Hello everybody. Thank you very much for paying attention to our review. Dear viewer, please give this video your royal like in advance. Your like is greatly needed to spread the project. GURU.Markets. We will compare the main fundamental indicators of the company PCB Bancorp, PCB, ticker, PCB. The review was created using current information at the time, July 1, 2024. By classification GURU.Markets company PCB Bancorp, PCB, belongs to the subcategory Bank Classic. 233 companies participate in the analysis. This is very representative. We start with general information about the corporation. Let's look at each parameter in more detail a little further. If necessary, it is possible to pause the video. We invite you to study all the parameters of the organization under study carefully. Access to the table with the classification of company tickers is absolutely free. We kindly ask you to distribute this release among your friends. Well, let's finally start. Market capitalization of the organization PCB Bancorp, PCB, valued at $0.23 billion. And the market capitalization of the subcategory is $1,061 billion. PCB Bancorp, PCB, accounts for a share of 0.022% and is one of the very small companies in the subcategory. The company's balance sheet capitalization is $0.28 billion. With a subcategory capitalization of $963 billion. PCB Bancorp constitutes a share of 0.029%. Comparing the shares of stock exchange and balance sheet capitalization, we see the following. Share PCB Bancorp. In the subcategory in case of market capitalization assessment is 0.022%. The book value is 0.029%. This is 32% more than the share of the exchange value. Assessment of the company's share of market and balance capitalization in the subcategory. Good, 1 point. The analyzed organization's debt obligations amount to $0.056 billion. Debt to book capitalization is 20% of capital. Result on the company's debt level. Good, 1 point. The ratio of the company's stock market value to its profit is 9.3. The subcategory average is 12.5, which is 26% lower than the subcategory average. Assessment of market value to its profit in comparison within the subcategory. Good, 1 point. Profit for the last 12 months was $25 million. Projected earnings for the coming 12 months are expected to be $25 million. Which is 0% more than at the current moment. Assessment of projected future profits in comparison with companies in the subcategory. Good, 0.5 points. The company's price-to-revenue balance is 1.4. The average for the subcategory is 1.4 and this is 0% higher than the average for the subcategory. Assessment of the indicators of the exchange value to its revenue in comparison with indicators in the subcategory. Good, 0.5 points. Revenue for the last 12 months was $170 million. Projected revenue for the coming 12 months is expected to be $170 million. And this is 0% more than at the current moment. An assessment of the projected future sales indicator in comparison with the indicators in the subcategory. Good, 0.5 points. The margin is 14.7%, with an average for the subcategory of 11.2%. The difference between the subcategory average and the company's performance is 3.4%. Marginality assessment in comparison with indicators in the subcategory. Good, 0.5 points. The company's share in terms of the number of employees in the subcategory is 0.032%, which is 45% more than the share of market capitalization. And this fact reflects the imbalance of the company's exchange value PCB Bancorp, PCB, most likely towards underestimation. The amount of market capital per company employee is $857,000. Whereas for the subcategory $1,249,000. The difference between the subcategory average and the company's performance is 31.4%. Estimation of the company's capital per employee in comparison with indicators in the subcategory. Good, 0.5 points. The amount of profit per employee is $92,300. With the average for the subcategory, $100,000. The difference between the subcategory average and the company's performance is 8%. Estimation of profit per employee in comparison with the indicators of companies in the subcategory. Tolerable, 0 points. The revenue per individual employee of the organization is $630,000. By subcategory $890,000. The difference between the subcategory average and the company's performance is 41%. Estimation of revenue per company employee in comparison with the indicators of subcategory companies. Tolerable, 0 points. Shares are short 0.4%, with a subcategory average of 1.9%. This is an indicator of possible short squeeze risk. Indicator RSI, 14, shows a level of 70% for the company PCB Bancorp. For the subcategory, the RSI level, 14, is approximately 59%. Potentially, shares in the subcategory are valued lower than PCB Bancorp, PCB. Comparing the movement of a company's stock price PCB Bancorp and subcategory shares. We can see that over the last 12 months the company's shares PCB Bancorp, PCB, showed a change of 9.7%. Against price changes in the subcategory 13.7%. This doesn't say anything unambiguously, but you need to keep this fact in mind. The result is as follows, 5.5 out of 10 points. The average result for the subcategory is 1.5 points. If you look broadly, within the entire US market as a whole, note that the average score for the market as a whole is 0.4 points. Against the company's score of 5.5 points PCB Bancorp. Let's go to the order table, it is available. Link to it is in the pinned comment. The order table contains absolutely all previously made decisions by the information and reference evaluation system GURU.Markets. Access to the order table is free and open. Link in pinned comment. Let me remind you that on June 13, 2024, the order was published. Company ticker PCB. Information and reference system GURU.Markets. The following decision is made on this order. Close the deal. The final profit was 9%. Thank you very much to everyone for watching this video and for using the information and reference system GURU.Markets. You truly are the best audience in the world.